How do you think the engineering culture is evolving?
It has evolved a lot, but in some cases it's also remained the same. There's a lot of siloed systems and siloed data which organizers not have a clue about how to unlock that, right? Because without data you cannot build innovative solutions faster, you cannot innovate faster. And if you don't innovate faster, then as I mentioned, you are at risk of falling behind.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Leadership and Learnings with Deepika podcast. And this is Deepika, your host. Today, we are with our guest, Praveen Yallakara, who brings deep technical expertise being a hands on integration architect. And what I truly admire about him is not just his technical expertise, but his discipline with life. And today, let's welcome Praveen to share his insights.
Thank you for the great introduction, Deepika, and I'm excited to be here. And thank you for providing the opportunity to be here.
Before we jump into the deep technical expertise, we would like to hear from you. How did your journey begin?
I started out like thousands, probably millions of people in India, where once they graduate, they get into one of the software engineering companies. And I was lucky enough to get into Infosys as an entry level software engineer. And that's how my engineering journey started. Been building, I was mainly hired into enterprise integration space, and I have been doing integration since then. For people who haven't heard integrations, think about it literally. You are basically integrating systems, you're basically connecting how systems talk to each other. Now, over the past 20 years, how systems connect, the integration patterns, the how the integration architecture itself has evolved from legacy point to point integrations to using enterprise service buses to service oriented architecture, SOA we used to call it back in those days, to RESTful APIs, to event driven architectures, and now using agents as the essential base of integrations. Integrations have come a long way, and I have been fortunate enough to be part of this journey.
How do you think the engineering culture is evolving?
It has evolved a lot, but in some cases it's also remained the same. Back in those days, everything used to be a longer cycle, right? If you have to deliver a strong implementation or a complex solution, you had to plan it out for, let's say, an year or a two, at the very least 6 months. Now in today's world of AI and fast pace and agile, you need to be quick in decision making. Otherwise, your business or your organization is at the risk of being left behind. You need to be integrating quickly. You need to have better data foundation, better data governance. And if you're not doing that, then you're at a risk of getting slowed down and your competitors easily getting ahead. There are shorter SDLC cycles now. There are shorter go to market cycles now. So the entire software engineering cycle has reduced a lot. Even if you think about models such as waterfall, they are slowly getting obsolete. I'm not saying they have completely gone away, but in today's fast changing agile world, you need to be thinking and innovating faster, and AI is playing a big role in that.
Since you have mentioned agents and a lot of agentic culture, what is the key difference that you are finding with these agents?
I'll give you an example. I recently worked on an AI based solution in the customer service industry. For example, let's say a customer calls up an organization, and let's say he has a problem. Let's say he's on a cruise ship, right? And let's say
Okay.
the AC in his cabin is not working. He would call
Okay.
up customer care, and the customer service agent basically has to ask tens of questions to the customer to get his information. He has to ask his first name, last name. He has to ask his reservation itinerary. He has to ask him what his problem is. And then the customer service agent himself has to log into different systems on the organization side. There is a system for customer information, there is a system for reservations. And if the customer service agent, for example, depending on the problem, if he has to provide solutions, maybe provide a voucher, maybe return his, maybe cancel the reservation and return the amount back to him, he has to do it in a different payment system, right? He has to be juggling multiple systems. All of this takes time, all the while the customer is waiting on the call. And you have been probably through this situation before. I have been through that multiple times, where it ultimately gets frustrating to the customer, where he's just waiting around for 20 to 30 minutes at a time just to get a resolution to a small problem. Now imagine putting the same in the agent. What the customer is able to do is basically ask a agent, hey, this is my problem, I'm on this ship. The agent is automatically able to deduce the customer information from his login. It's able to deduce what reservation is he under. It's able to deduce what problem, depending on what the customer said, right, in the chat or in the agentic interface. And it's able to reason, make a reasonable deduction, and provide a solution to that. So the agent is not able to recognize the context and the problem. It's able to make a reason, and it's able to act on that. The agent, depending on the problem, can look up a payment system and provide a voucher to the customer saying, hey, we are sorry about this problem, a technician is going to come and fix it. Would you like to have a voucher for this so and so lounge, which is the nearest to you, for a couple of hours until the technician fixes the AC issue in your cabin, right? This is just a small example. Here, the customer is not waiting around for like 30 minutes. He's
Right.
just able to get an immediate answer, because all he did was, hey, I have a problem in my cabin. Can you help me with this? And the agent is able to take that context, make that reasoning, and act on that reasoning. And behind all of this, the agent is able to log into the reservation system. It's able to log into the payment system. It's able to fetch the voucher for the customers. It's all of this is happening in the background, while all the customer did was basically just type a small message that what his problem was. And all of this has happened like within 5 minutes, because his agent is able to connect all those systems, then fetch all the information that is necessary to make a reasonable decision and provide a solution to the client in a minimum time frame. This is just a small example, and this is one of the AI solutions that I worked on last year in the Salesforce technology ecosystem, and which was really eye-opening for me. This is a
Okay.
small impact that agent can make. And if you look at this, it fits into all of the integration work I have been doing, because the agent is just the interface, right? In the end, there are LLMs involved, which help with
Right.
reasoning. And then there is these integrations with all of these systems that are also part of this. Whatever agents or whatever intelligent automation you build, at the end of it, if you don't have access to the data, your agent is as good as just the interface, right? You need access to the data, and you get access to the data by connecting to the system seamlessly. And that's where integrations fit in.
How do you use this data? Or because I've been reading a lot about for storing the data, but do you have anything else where people can actually start digging through this data?
Data, if you look at from an agentic AI perspective, and for example, a medium level organization on an average has 600 different systems in its landscape, right? Some of the example, ERP system, an HR system, maybe some kind of a payment system, some kind of a CRM system, some kind of a legacy database, a few cloud systems. So that's kind of eye opener to me. If a medium scale organization can have like 600 systems, I can't even imagine what a large scale organization can have, right? So it could be like thousands of systems. How do you even get access to all of that data? Because if you want to build AI solutions, if you want your AI to be smarter than your competitor, and if you want to be innovating fast, I would say in this AI world, this was a problem even before AI. There's a lot of siloed systems and siloed data, which organizers not have a clue about how to unlock that, right? Because without data, you cannot build innovative solutions faster, you cannot innovate faster. And if you don't innovate faster, then as I mentioned, you are at risk of falling behind. The key to innovation is essentially unlocking all of that data in your legacies, in your cloud systems, and all of the different databases. And that's where integration is the key component here. How do you integrate to those systems? That should be your first level organization challenge. Build reusable either APIs or build reusable interfaces to all of these siloed systems, which can be leveraged by any business organization or any businesses inside that organization. There are a lot of business units inside the organizations, and it should be up to the business units to innovate, right? So they should know if this data is readily accessible or not. It's very important to first set on the task of unlocking the data in all your siloed systems and making sure it's available and accessible to all of the business units, because innovations happens at the business units. It's not going to happen at the IT layer, right? IT just gets to do the development or just gets to do the implementation.
I have been reading about you that you are into CrossFit, where you challenge yourself and then you push yourself, and you are into hiking. What is the story behind it, and or what is the motivation behind it?
Before CrossFit, I used to always be into fitness, but not as consistent. I used to go to gyms such as 24 by 7 and those fitness gyms which are open all the time, right? I'm not saying they are bad or anything. I think everyone has their choice or their preference. But for me, CrossFit was a game changer because I love group classes. I cannot go
Oh,
to the gym and work out on my own and get
okay.
that motivation.
Mm.
I need that community. I need that group of people who are pushing you. And there are a lot of other forms of exercise which do that. But
Mm.
when I started CrossFit, for some reason, the CrossFit community really resonated with me, really stuck with me. I really love all the people at my CrossFit community. And secondly, because it's so intense, it really brings out that bonding. Just to give you an idea of how CrossFit works, there is a weightlifting component for about 15 minutes, and there's another 15 minutes component of intense hit, right? So each class contains that. This is just a generic format. There are other kinds of stuff that goes on as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, that intensity and everything that kind of gives me that high and that endomorphins, as they say, which I really like. you
Okay.
cannot you cannot just outtrain a bad diet, right? And I won't say that I was eating really bad, but if you look at Indian diet, and I'm sure you're aware of this, it's full of carbs, less protein, right? And
Right.
that's where she opened my eyes to how you need to incorporate protein in your diet, how you need to have a balanced kind of meal, right?
Balanced meal.
Yes, with everything, protein, little bit of carbs, vegetables, fiber, and all of that. That kind of opened into me, and that's when my nutritional journey started.
Before we wrap up, do you have anything else to share with the audience who are definitely balancing themselves, the both their personal and also their professional journeys? What is that one thing or any one word that you want to give it to our listeners?
Yes, I'll definitely like to share. Like, hearing myself talk, it all sounds like it's all perfect, right? I have my life figured out, but it's not. There are always things happening, basically life's happening, right? There are always ups and downs. Even in my CrossFit fitness or health, you're going to have to go to India sometimes for a month to spend time with families. Everything's not going to just one thing. You're done. Make sure to come back and then get on the train again and then get back to your routine. I think that's what I would say. Give yourself that grace when things don't go your way.
That is definitely a greater takeaway for all of us, Praveen. Once again for accepting my invitation and being with us here today.
Thank you, Deepika, for having me.